At the end of the Dwapar Yug, on the southern seashore of ancient India, there existed a rich and prosperous kingdom known as Malwa Desh, a land we now recognize as Odisha. A great king named Indradyumna ruled this land. He was not only a mighty ruler, but also a deeply devoted follower of Lord Vishnu, also known as Vasudeva. The king had a strong desire to build a grand temple and install a divine idol of Lord Vasudeva. But often, a single doubt would trouble his mind. I have never seen the Lord, so how can I create his idol? What does he look like? His eyes? His form? How can I imagine it? This thought constantly lingered in the king's heart. One night, while the king was asleep, Lord Vishnu himself appeared in his dream and said, "O king, your devotion is true and unwavering. Since you have resolved to build my temple and idol, it shall be fulfilled. Tomorrow morning, go to the seashore. There you will find 3 huge fragrant wooden logs. I reside within them. My idol shall be carved from that sacred wood." As soon as morning arrived, King Indradyumna shared his divine dream with his ministers and army, and they all went to the seashore. And there they were, the very 3 enormous aromatic logs, just as the king had seen in his dream. The king had them brought to the palace and summoned the greatest sculptors of the land. But no matter how hard they tried, none of the tools could make a single scratch on the sacred wood. All their chisels broke. Eventually, the sculptors gave up in defeat. Once again, the king was filled with worry. He prayed deeply to Lord Narayana from the depths of his heart. That night, the Lord appeared again in his dream. "O king, no ordinary man can carve my image. I shall send Vishwakarma, the divine celestial architect, to you. He alone will complete my idol." The next morning, an old, frail carpenter arrived at the palace. The king recognized him as Vishwakarma in disguise and welcomed him with great respect. Vishwakarma said to the king, "O king, listen carefully. I will complete this divine work, but only under one condition. For 21 days, no one must open the chamber or see me. I must work in complete solitude." The king agreed, and the chamber inside the palace was sealed. Vishwakarma began his divine work on the idols. Days passed. Sounds of chiseling and carving echoed from within. But suddenly, all became silent. Several more days passed, and still there was no sound. The queen grew worried. What if the old man has died of hunger or thirst, she feared. Her anxiety grew unbearable. Despite the king's repeated pleas, the queen insisted the door be opened. At last, the king gave in to her persistence. When the door was opened, the chamber was empty. Vishwakarma had disappeared, but before them stood the divine yet incomplete idol of Lord Jagannath. The head was majestic, but the body was incomplete. The arms were merely stumps, unfinished. Seeing this, the king and queen realized they had disobeyed the divine command, and as a result, the idol remained incomplete. That night, Lord Narayana once again appeared in the king's dream and said, "O king, do not worry about the idol. I reside within it. My form is eternal and limitless. From now on, worship this idol." Since that day, the king established and began worshiping the same idol. Even today, that very idol resides in the grand temple of Lord Jagannath in Puri. Perhaps if the queen had not insisted, if the door had remained closed for all 21 days, would the full and complete form of Lord Jagannath, created by Vishwakarma himself, have been even grander and more divine? What do you think? Let us know in the comments below.